Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. First of all, I would like to give a shout out to Boris at Level 2 Barbershop. Thank you, Boris, for keeping me looking good on camera. Now, why am I standing out in front of Trader Joe's wine shop this afternoon? Well, the reason is I decided to bake some of my very favorite Almond Biscotti for holiday gifts, and I thought it would be fun to pair them with a dessert wine. And there are lots of choices here, you know, starting with the famous Tuscan pairing of Almond Biscotti with Vinsanto, which, by the way, may or may not be made with a wonderful grape called Malvasia, probably from Crete originally, or one of the Greek islands. And they still make sweet wines in Greece, although we don't hear too much about them anymore. But they're out there. And Malvasia is grown a lot in Sicily and the islands north of Sicily, in particular, Lipari, where they make wonderful dessert wines. Then, of course, beyond Italy, there are wonderful dessert wines in Spain, sherries, sweet ones. Some of them made with a blend, and some of them made with an intensely sweet grape called Pedro Jimenez. And there's Porto in Portugal, and off the coast of Portugal is Madeira, where they also, by the way, use some of that wonderful Malvasia grape. In Europe, on the more mainland, France has, of course, Barsac and Sauternes, what I was trying to think of. And they also have wonderful muscats, including the most famous one, I think, probably, Baume de Venise, which is quite wonderful. Germany has late harvest Riesling and ice wine, and there are all sorts of wonderful sweet wines, and these things are made all around the world too, especially in California and other growing areas, even upstate New York. So whatever I find, and by the way, one nice thing about dessert wines is that they're often made in half bottles, which make wonderful little gifts. So whatever I find today, I'm sure it'll be just delightful. And so I'm going to go in and take a look, and let's get started. All right, thanks again. Glad you're here. Here are the wines that I chose. The first one was a surprise. It's from Hungary. That's not a surprise. I forgot to mention to you that Hungary is famous for its sweet Tokaj wines. This is not a Tokaj, it's a semi-sweet Merlot. So I thought that might be fun to experiment with, and I'm looking forward to trying it. And then the second wine here, this one I got particularly for the purists that I know. This is a dessert wine from an island that's south of Sicily called Pantelleria. And notice that it's called Passito, so that means that it's made from grapes that have stayed so long on the vine that they're like raisins and very, very sweet. And it's also a muscat, by the way, not a Malvasia. And then I also bought some sherry, which I love, and some port, because I always have to have those in the house. So those are just for me. Now, here we go with our biscotti. We've got our flour. Oh, I'm making a big recipe today. I'm making double the recipe that you'll find online. So we have our flour and baking powder that we whisked up. And then now we've got 6 eggs, whisk them up a little bit. We'll add the sugar, 2 cups of sugar for the double recipe. And then when that's all in, we've got some brandy, 4 ounces for the double recipe, and also 8 ounces of butter melted and cooled. It has to be cooled. So once you have all those things together, then go ahead and add the salt. That's a good thing, you know, about a teaspoon of salt. And you need almond extract and vanilla extract, good vanilla extract as well, to flavor your biscotti. So when you have the liquid ingredients all together, then add the flour mixture and stir that all up. So that's it. You know, you don't need any tools for this except for, you know, a whisk for the first for the dry, then for the liquid, and then when you add the dry things in, you want to switch to a good strong rubber spatula. And so stir in, it's sort of like folding, but stir in your almonds, and then you have everything in there. So that's the entire mixture. You want to spread it out on baking sheets. I have silicone baking mats here. You can also use parchment, or, you know, if you had to, you could grease and flour the pans. But parchment or the silicone baking mats are a lot easier. So spread the mixture out. One standard half sheet pan will hold one recipe nicely. So 2 logs, 2 long logs will be close to 3 inches wide, like 2.5 inches wide, something like that. They'll spread out a little bit as they bake. And you can also make them really narrow if you want tiny ones. If you did, you'd probably want to go ahead and do them crosswise on the pan. And then these need to bake for a good half hour in your preheated 350 oven until they're sort of golden. Then let them cool, and then you want to start slicing them for the second baking, because of course they are biscotto, or twice cooked. So you want to slice them really carefully. You need a good serrated knife, or if you have a pastry knife, you know, use that, absolutely. And slice them about 3/4 of an inch thick. These biscotti are a little bit fragile when they're half baked, so don't try to cut them too thin. So arrange them on your baking sheet. You'll need, for each recipe, you'll need 2 pans for finishing them. So lay them out, back into the oven. I would lower the oven temperature, maybe as low as 300, and give them their second baking. You'll see that when they're done, they smell wonderful, of course, but they'll be golden, and your best way to test for done is to look at the almonds themselves, the cut edges of the cut sides of the almonds that you sliced through. And when your biscotti are really well done, those almonds will begin to turn golden. They'll start to tan from the inside out. So that's something you'll notice as you look closely at the almonds themselves. So get them all nice and golden. Let them cool, pack them up. They make wonderful gifts, and they keep really, really well. So I hope you'll try these for holiday time and any time. Thanks for joining me today. Recipes at brucebeckinthekitchen.com. Happy holidays!